We're coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. Hello and welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marquez. Today's show is filled with some big stars, from Leonardo DiCaprio's latest movie with Robert De Niro to Britney Spears' bombshell of a memoir, and a new Saint Nic challenges Tim Allen's Santa Claus. But we start with legendary director Martin Scorsese, who sat down with CBS Morning's Gayle King. He talked about his struggles with sobriety, his bond with Robert De Niro through the ups and downs. Here's more on Killers of the Flower Moon with Martin Scorsese.
In 1920s Oklahoma, when oil gushed on the Osage Reservation, blood began to spill.
When this money started coming, we should have known it came with something else.
Killers of the Flower Moon stars Oscar winners Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. Lily Gladstone plays DiCaprio's wife.
Shomikasi. That's how you are.
I don't know what she said, but it must have been Indian for handsome devil.
The film tells a story of how greedy white businessmen befriended and then violently betrayed an indigenous tribe.
It's so simple. The front is the front, the back is the back.
He has to make it look like he done himself.
It just looks like murder. It's not supposed to be that way.
What interested me in this story is that it wasn't one specific massacre. It wasn't one specific event. This is something more insidious. This is something that comes from the inside, and it grows around you like a curse or a kind of a virus, a cancer. And the cancer is the settlers, the outsiders, the European Americans. What happened when I went to Oklahoma is that people got up and explained, listen, one thing you have to remember, Molly and Ernest were in love. And the thing about it is, how could two people, and this is a mystery of being a human being, how could two people really love each other and fall into such a situation where maybe, for the most part, he really is contributing to her death?
I kept struggling with, does she really love him? I was screaming at the theater going, I was screaming in your theater room saying, good. Molly, Molly, don't take him back, don't take him back. Molly, he's trying to kill you. I thought, does she not know that he's killing her?
And this is the tragedy of it. She can't believe that he would do anything to harm her.
Expecting a miracle to make all this go away, you know they don't happen anymore.
In his 10th collaboration with Scorsese, De Niro turns in another powerful performance.
Let's talk about the magic of you and Robert De Niro. You guys have known each other since you were teenagers. Do you have a code language that you talk to each other in?
I guess it is a code, and a lot of it is nonverbal, and I learned that in Taxi Driver.
Scorsese recalls struggling with a scene when De Niro decided to improvise and unleash the film's iconic line.
You talking to me?
And they were banging on the door because we were way behind schedule. I said, come on, we gotta go. I said, give me 20 minutes. 20, this is good.
Well, then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here.
When he said that line, did you go ding, 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 we got it, this is good?
Yes.
After a string of successes, his next movie, New York, New York, bombed at the box office. Critics tore it apart.
You want me to leave?
Yes.
I'll leave right now.
Bye.
It was like Scorsese's latest, a flop. That's what the headlines were.
Did that hurt you?
Yes, it did, yeah.
And made you question yourself?
Well, yeah, can I ever do it again? Who am I, is what it was.
The film's failure sent Scorsese spiraling into depression and cocaine addiction. In 1978, he was hospitalized with internal bleeding and nearly died.
What were you trying to find when you were doing drugs?
I was trying to find if I had enough heart, again, to get on a set and make a movie. Where am I going to put my energy and my whole heart and soul? The trick there is that you're lucky if you come out alive.
What set him on a new path? The script for Raging Bull.
No, you've been very candid about past, addiction problems that you had, and you said Bob De Niro actually saved your life.
So he came to the hospital, he said, come on, get yourself together. This picture's perfect for you. He knew that somehow the character that he was going to play is really me. The character who destroys himself. I had to learn that that's what I was doing.
And with 27 films, he's one of America's most prolific directors. Scorsese turns 81 next month.
With more projects in the works, there's one place you might not expect to find this director. He's on TikTok. His 23-year-old daughter, Francesca, reels him in for the fun.
But she does it at the most inopportune times. We're a good comedy team.
By the way, Francesca Scorsese's latest TikTok features her dad directing her schnauzer on how to act. You'll just have to see it. Britney Spears' highly anticipated new memoir, The Woman in Me, hits bookshelves Tuesday, and some bombshells from the book have dropped early. The Lot's Jamie Yuccas has some secrets that she's been hiding for all of these years.
Reliving everything that you're about to hear has been exciting, heart-wrenching, and emotional.
This is Britney Spears reading the introduction to her audiobook in a clip given exclusively to CBS News. Spears, who is now 41, started as a young girl from Kentwood, Louisiana, who loved to sing, and then...
Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to know that something wasn't right?
In 1998, this song launched Spears into international stardom. She was 16.
Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide.
By 18, the Princess of Pop seemed to have found her prince in Justin Timberlake. The NSYNC heartthrob and Spears had known one another since childhood, singing together on the Mickey Mouse Club. Their relationship caused a sensation. However, in her new memoir, The Woman in Me, Spears says their high-profile romance wasn't what it seemed.
Hey, what's up, man?
Spears says she knew Timberlake had cheated on her, but decided to let it go. She also says she became pregnant with Timberlake's baby at one point in their relationship. Spears says Timberlake was unhappy about the surprise pregnancy and thought they were too young to have a child. They decided to terminate the pregnancy. Had it been her choice alone, Spears said, she would not have gone through with the abortion. August Brown is a music reporter at the LA Times.
Why do you think Britney's coming forward with this information now?
You know, if you kind of recall when she first came to fame in the late 90s, you know, that was a real time when like purity culture and sort of evangelical Christianity was a real force in a lot of American life. You know, she came out of the Deep South and that was part of her kind of image. I'm sure that was a really heavy burden for her to carry for much of her life. And it probably took being released from the conservatorship and putting out this memoir for her to kind of have a context for that kind of news.
The book is published by Simon & Schuster, which, like The Lot, is part of Paramount Global. And in her honor of her memoir coming out, her 2002 movie Crossroads will be in theaters for a 2-day global fan event this weekend.
I'm not going to the audition. You can drop me off in Arizona.
The movie also stars a young Zoe Saldana and Taryn Manning, telling the story of 3 childhood friends who rediscover their friendship on a cross-country trip. You can even pick up a special edition Crossroads soundtrack. Oh yeah, a great surprise at the record release party in New York for the Rolling Stones. It turned into a live concert with the Stones performing songs from their new album Hackney Diamonds. And yep, Lady Gaga joined them on stage. There was a star-studded list of attendees, including Chris Rock, Mary-Kate Olsen, Daniel Craig, Jimmy Fallon, and Trevor Noah, just to name a few. Hackney Diamonds is out now.
Today, it's nice to see her honored for her side project, which is being one of the biggest stars in the world. In my opinion, Gwen is the perfect person to receive a star on the Walk of Fame. From music, television, and movies, to fashion and beauty, she has risen to the top over and over again with her unique style that has made the world fall in love with her. Not as much as me, though.
So sweet to watch. Blake Shelton moved his wife, Gwen Stefani, to tears at her Walk of Fame ceremony this week. He said the first time they met, she drove herself to work in a black minivan with car seats and no security. He said she didn't need security with 3 kids in tow. Nobody was going near that chaos. He could tell motherhood was her #1 job and still is a decade later. This will bring back memories for lots of Swifties. The live version of Cruel Summer from Taylor Swift's Eras Tour just dropped. She just released this new rendition, and as you can imagine, the live track is #1 on iTunes. Can you guess what's #3?
People dream high in the quiet of the night, you know that I caught it. Bad boy, shiny toy with a price, you know that I bought it.
Taylor just dropped this brand new remix. The new versions of Cruel Summer come ahead of the release of 1989 Taylor's version, her 4th re-recorded album. It's being released next Friday. And big news for U2 fans, the legendary rockers have added 11 more shows to their residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Their first live gig in 4 years now runs through mid-February. The Super Bowl will be held in Las Vegas February 11th, and U2 will play 2 shows that weekend. Don't forget the Super Bowl streams on Paramount+. And Adele is giving her fans something to sing about. She just announced she is extending her Vegas residency one last time. The final leg of Weekends with Adele will run through next June. Fans can register for tickets for the new shows starting Monday. Tickets go on sale Thursday. And singing sensation Bad Bunny is going back on the road in 2024. He announced dates for the Most Wanted Tour Thursday. He will play Crypto.com Arena in LA March 13th, 14th, and 15th if you're on the West Coast. If you want to go, register now. Registered fans selected in a lottery will be given the chance to buy tickets at a later date. When we come back, movie critic Gray Drake's review of Killers of the Flower Moon and her picks that you can stream online now.
Osage are the finest, wealthiest, and most beautiful people on God's earth. They outsmarted everybody. They have the say who gets the oil. Son, I got a question. You like women? That's my weakness.
That was a snippet from Killers of the Flower Moon. Movie critic Gray Drake is here. You saw the movie. What are your thoughts? We know it's a 3.5-hour epic. It's about a very painful part of our American history.
Oh, my God. I had no idea that this was part of our American history. And of course, our relationship with Indigenous people is really complicated, and that's what this movie is all about. Now, this is downright nefarious, okay? But totally on brand for Scorsese, because his movies are about people who are up to something. And in this movie, it's Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. So their family, they live in 1920s Oklahoma, and alongside them are the Osage community. So this tribe has oil on their land, which is great news because it brings great prosperity, but it's also terrible news because all of the white people around them want that money. And it's sobering to watch this film because they will stop at nothing to be terrible to their fellow human beings. And Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio are at the center of it, and I'm mad at them now.
They were a little too believable.
Oh, God, they're so good in the movie. And Lily Gladstone plays Leonardo DiCaprio's movie wife, Molly. And Molly's family is unfortunately their #1 target. And this movie just keeps getting worse as it goes on. And so after about 3.5 hours, it gets pretty tough to sit through. But again, it's important to sit through it. It's important that we know it. And it's a good movie, but a tough one.
And you were saying that it might have been good in a series, which leads us to our next idea.
Absolutely, yeah, because I think the theme this week is that life was tough back in the 1920s, give or take. And so over on Paramount Plus, we've got the prequel to Yellowstone, which is 1923.
You'd be Mrs. Dutton.
I would.
Seems we're neighbors. I've acquired the Strafford Ranch.
Well, this is the Yellowstone, and you have no rights here.
Oh, I just love the two of them. Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren. Does it get better than that?
It doesn't. And that is what this series has for sure. Now, Yellowstone is kind of a phenomenon. Everyone loves watching it, and everybody's fascinated with the Dutton family. And so this is how they started. So when you want more Dutton, this is what gives it to you. in the form of these two great actors. And the rest of the cast is amazing. And the thing about this series is that as brutal as you think Yellowstone might be, 1923 ups the ante in every way. Like the pilot episode is Helen Mirren using a shotgun on someone, and a nun gets beat up.
You know, it shows that generational trauma just gets passed down, right?
Absolutely. Like, it is just wild. I was kind of mouth agape at this whole series. Like, every episode that I watched, I was like, wow, they really go there. And so 1923 is a great way to sort of extend this story and to really communicate how challenging it was to live in those times, and really like what we need to appreciate about so many of our ancestors, and also what we need to never repeat again, by the way.
I mean, we get mad about losing a cell signal these days. We've come a long way, baby.
We're soft.
So let's talk about another wonderful war epic that I remember, and I'm so glad you're thinking of again.
Right. This is 1917. So just before all these other stories we've been talking about today, we've got World War I. Yeah. So the entire world was affected by this incredible war. And Sam Mendes' movie is really a sensational look at just two soldiers' story during the war. So it's a small story on about a large scale topic. It looks as though it was all shot in one continuous take, and it makes it feel really intimate and very intense. And the story is about these two guys who, if they don't get a message to some of their other, military brothers, they're going to all be killed in an ambush. So the stakes are really high. I couldn't rip my eyes off of this movie, and it really is an amazing achievement, again, in showing us so many brave people that fought for so many freedoms and all of the crazy things that they went through.
Yes, I love that it personalizes the story, and then it makes you think of all of these millions of stories out there from the wars.
Absolutely. We have a lot to be grateful for. We have a lot to learn and remember. History is, super important because of that classic saying, like, if we don't learn it, we're going to repeat it. And these are a lot of things we definitely don't want to repeat.
Yes, well, great picks. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I can't wait to see your outfit for next week's Halloween episode.
There's going to be a lot less history next week.
I love it. We're going to have some fun. We got pretty heavy in this one. But you know what? We have lots to come when we come back.
Who's Magnus Antis?
The Mad Santa.
Is that something for us to worry about?
Tim Allen is facing off with a new Santa in the Santa Clauses, and it's one of your favorite Modern Family stars. Vivica Fox is a household name in front of the camera. Now she's making her feature-length directorial debut, telling the true story of a woman living the high life as one of the heads of the Black Mafia family in a new movie streaming on BET+.
I wish I could tell you this was all a bad dream, but it wasn't. The story I'm about to tell you is all true.
First Lady of BMF, the Tanisa Welch story, tells the true story of the unofficial First Lady of Detroit, Tanisa Welch. She's lured into Detroit's drug world in the 1980s, living a glamorous and fast-paced but illegal lifestyle as part of the BMF criminal empire. What was it like doing this project?
An honor, to be honest with you. I have to thank, hats off to Tressa Smallwood. She gave me the opportunity to direct a short for BET+. And her and I are all about girl power and that women can do anything. And the first time I worked with her, you never know after transferring to director if that's going to work, or can you do it? Will they have the same passion that they have for acting as a director? So when we did the short, she was like, not like you, girlfriend. We're going to do something bigger. And she kept her word.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an advocate for women, hands down. I do a lot of projects that advocate for women's health issues. We do the couch, we do the waiting room. And so, like Vivica said, we work together on one of those initiatives. And so I felt like going in to do a project like this, you can't go in with any new folks. You got to go in with the people that have your back.
I had more strength than I thought. I hooked a really big fish, the largest supplier on the East Coast.
The filmmakers learned Tanisa's story when she did an episode on BET's American Gangster, Trap Queens. She's proud to share her story of change and redemption.
Oh my God, just to see my
biopic, my story on the big screen. I mean, like I always say, like now I'm saying, like, how often do it happen? You know, and then just me, like I always think, like I'm not like a Miss Fox, or you know, like I'm just like I'm a girl from Detroit who was in the drug game, and just to see my biopic and my story and these amazing women to come together and want to share my story. It's an amazing feeling.
What's your name?
Lisa.
They call me H.
50 Cent has a hugely popular series called BMF, The Black Mafia Family, but Vivica wanted to tell the story of the woman who was at the top of her game. Ridley Scott directed the original Alien in 1979 with Sigourney Weaver, of course, as well as Blade Runner, Black Hawk Down, and Gladiator. And he was the first to get to see Alien Romulus before it comes out next year. He says this new Alien movie is bleepin' great. This is according to director Fede Alvarez, who is famous for directing The Evil Dead. He was speaking to Guillermo del Toro at the DGA Latino Summit. Everyone gave Alvarez the heads up that Ridley is really hard on those who follow in his footsteps. He did not really like the new Blade Runner movie 2049 and the new Top Gun, which his brother Tony Scott directed the original. Ridley was far from impressed with those, so the director was ready to sit down with Ridley, prepared to hear the worst, like, you destroyed my legacy. But Ridley said, what can I say? It's bleepin' great, and they talked about it for an hour. Alien Romulus is set to release in August of next year. Horror director John Carpenter, behind the classic movie Halloween, has a new streaming series on Peacock. It's called Sweet Home Suburbia, and it gets really scary in suburban screams.
There's always that one house that you ride your bike past just a little bit faster than the others.
The master of horror reveals scary stories from Anytown neighborhoods in John Carpenter's Suburban Screams.
People think of dark houses, dark places, and scary stuff. And if it's in places that we all live, that the danger exists, that's even scarier.
This was real.
It shows a hybrid show. It's both scripted and unscripted, of true events that terrify communities and people.
Police fielded 50 calls about a man in a rabbit suit with a hatchet.
I've never done anything like this before, and it sounded really interesting to do.
The episode Carpenter directed is the story of a woman dealing with a mysterious phone stalker who is interviewed for the show.
He knows everything about me because he must be watching or maybe tapped my phone or something, but he knows everything.
And portrayed by actress Julie Stevens in different scenes.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
Everything is real, and everything is based on what this woman went through, and is, I suppose, still going through. It's not resolved by any means, and that's crazy. 6 years. 6 years this has been happening.
Someone's at the door, Ben. Knock, knock.
Ooh, a little dose of reality there. Well, don't worry, it's going to be a pink Halloween, according to Google. The most popular Halloween costume this year is Barbie. The dolls come in all sorts of outfits, so you have plenty of options. Princess is the #2 pick. Spider-Man takes third. Other popular outfits include the traditional witch. I love that. You just don a cap. Cowboy, we know that one's simple too. And of course, ninja. That's fun. This year, people are dropping more money than ever on the holiday. The National Retail Federation says people will spend a record $12.2 billion in all. That's $2 million more than last year.
Santa? I am Santa, the rightful Santa. The Santa who occupies the North Pole now is a fraud!
Now, this is the matchup I did not know we needed. Tim Allen is facing off with a rival Santa in Santa Claus' Season 2 on Disney+. And that rival Santa is Eric Stonestreet. Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias and Tracy Morgan are also in the cast, so you know it's hilarious. Season 2 of Santa Clauses returns to Disney+ November 8th. That's a wrap for this episode. Get ready for our Halloween episode next week. I'm already picking out my costume. I'm Suzanne Marquez. I'll see you again here next week on The Lot.